Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the best-selling cards under $5. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Penny Stock Market. I know I moved. I used to be down there. I actually used to be over there. The OGs remember when I was over there, but now I'm up here. I moved to down there for deck profiles when I do that. I don't really do deck profiles too often, though. So I'm going to try here, and hopefully this is a good spot. Because I feel like I'm not in the way of anything here, but I know that, like, when I was down there, I would get in the way, right? So now I'm not in the way. Well, I guess now I'm kind of in the way, but anyway, let's talk about the best selling cards under $5. Less is still dominated, excuse me, by the 2022 Megatons. I'm just gonna probably do a video talking about that. Let's just keep it real. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys click that like button and the subscribe button. I know the little ding thing pops up at the bottom all the time anyway, but I'll just randomly say it too. Talking about newer cards, though, that maybe we didn't get the chance to touch on last week. Let's talk about Ecclesia. Ecclesia is one of those cards that, I mean, just let me see where was that last week, actually. So last week, it wasn't a $5 card, and it dipped down, but it hit this spot at 447. Now, that's not its low spot. Its lowest spot is 318, right? That's about where it was 11 days ago. And I don't think that's where it's going to land for the rest of all eternity. I mean, this literally only has 2 printings. The biggest issue right now for this card is that its best two decks, Fallen of Allbass, just the branded Despia, whatever, what have you, and Sword Soul decks aren't very good, right? But really, like really look at what this card brings to the table, right? Like, it's a free level 4 summon. She's also a tuner, which I don't think a lot of people utilize her for that effect. There's also this here too, which is huge, right? During the end phase, if fusion monster is sent to the graveyard this turn, add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's always gaining advantage. And the reason I'm saying that, like, I don't need to oversell like how Ecclesia is a good card, but the reason I'm saying that is because even if Branded isn't very good or Sword Soul isn't very good, this card it's one of those cards that's just going to be good probably for its entire existence, and it just recently got a reprint, so it probably won't get a reprint anytime soon. It's also a spellcaster, so there's synergy there too. Um, there's just a lot with this card. I definitely think it's a good buy here. It's sitting here at 19 copies at $4.99. If you don't pay for shipping, you save a penny, and then it's gonna be right back up to being no longer a penny stock. So definitely take a look at that. Um, Nothing anything else too crazy insane. Still the Megatons. What's the first card? A Droll and Lockbird's the first card that's not in the Megatons. I really like this card. I'm surprised this card doesn't see more meta play. Um, just being able to get rid of your opponent's monster essentially for free is really solid. I'm not gonna dive deep into it and take a look at it. This is interesting though, for sure. Aldebert. Let's see what the original. Because there's 3 now, right? Yes. So Dawn of Majesty is not technically a penny stock, but this is just, I'm not, like I said, we're not gonna talk about it. It's not a penny stock, but just saying the price dropped according to Microsoft Edge. But anyway, I don't know why I closed out of the link. The reason we're talking about this card though, this is another situation where it's like, okay, well, this is specifically a branded card. So as long as branded is not very good, or branded is not seeing a lot of meta play, then this card's not gonna see a lot of meta play. But here's the thing: at some point, the ban list is going to come out, and at some point, Sprite tier elements is going to get weaker, right? We have actually also seen branded tier elements, right? That could actually end up being a very solid strategy. Just branded tier elements, like they could throw in the branded package just to supplement or help from the ban list. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. We don't. I don't even know when the ban list is coming out, much less what the effect on the meta the ban list is gonna have. But it is possible, right? And this is just one of those cards that, for a very good strategy, like this card, it's just like it's like this deck's multi faker or Tri Brigade Kit, right? Or even like Sky Striker Engage, right? Just like there's certain cards and Gazelle. Like I know Gazelle's at 1. If Gazelle went back to 3, Gazelle would probably always be like a relatively, like if we just look at, because I actually haven't checked the pricing of this card in a while. On Salamangreat Gazelle though, okay, so this wasn't a good example. Uh, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Like there are just certain cards that are always Salamangreat Circle. Yeah. So it's like this card, for example, Salamangreat Circle. Okay, it's like only about $2, $4, $2, $3, right? So it's like, well, Aliber is more expensive than that. Is it going to go down to that low? No, because what I'm saying is when I'm making that comparison to like Salamangreat Circle or Sky Striker Engage or all that, it's like it was a very good deck in its time, and it gathered a lot of like fans, and it has like a minor fan base to where now it's going to always be like a solid tier 2 roguish strategy. Branded is, and the thing that's different about Branded versus like Salamangreat, or even like Ultrageist to an extent, and Sky Striker to an extent, is it's very splashable, like branded Fluffles, branded Predaplants, branded Invoked. Like there's a lot of different things you can do with branded, other than just like meta relevant things. So I think it's a solid. I think both copies of Aliber are solid. If I had to pick which one, I owned this one, so this one. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I guess because it was a prismatic secret rare, I will assume that this one's going to go up, and it already is. It's a newer version, but it's already going up in value. We might even get to a spot to where this is the most expensive one, but usually, even if there's a rarity bump, unless it's like an OTS rarity bump, the very first printing is the most expensive printing. So, just something to keep in mind with that. And that's something to see too, like not only the impact that tins are having on the market, but like just like the cards themselves, but like the reprinted versions and just different things like that, right? Siren's doing its thing, Branded Fusion is doing its thing, and that's what people are seeing. People are seeing, okay, this card went down in value, this card had a rarity upgrade, and like we were just talking about this. What is this card, right? Like this is just that's what people are seeing in Branded Fusion. Like literally, what's the number one card on the best, for the best selling cards under $5 or less, right? It's Branded Opening, right? And so just taking a look, I think we talked about like an entire branded strategy, so I don't want to dive too deep into it again. But there really hasn't been too super duper many changes to the market. It's just a lot of still like the megatins. I'm gonna do something we don't normally do. We're going in again. We're going on the second page. We're not gonna go too deep into the second page, though. Just trying to get an idea, because here's the thing. Like, yes, the megatins are like the big thing right now, but they are gonna cool down. They are gonna calm down, right? And so, what are cards that you should be, looking at that maybe weren't in the megatins but are still good buys? That's kind of what we're trying to talk about right now, because we spent basically all of the last market watch talking about like the megatins and different things like that. So that's why I didn't want to spend too much time on it. The Dark Charmer Gloomy, still doing fantastic. This card's not going to get hit. It's not going to get worse. It might actually only just get better, to be honest with you. Edge and Chain, Fight for Patchwork. I believe this package has finally started to calm down, and that's why we see it here in the penny. Yeah, that's why we see it here in the penny stocks, I guess. Yeah, because it was like here, and it's kind of been all over the place for the first ed. But it has just been kind of slowly going down ever since people first started to realize, oh wait, you could run this package in branded, right? So the Edge Chain, Fight for Patchwork, that package is getting cheaper. It could see a reprint sometime soon though, so don't get too excited about that. More branded stuff, of course. Tier Elements. Sign and Mining is still doing its thing. Another Dark Rule No More. This is the type of stuff we're looking for. I think I've talked about this card before, though. Yes, the Scareclaw Field Spell. 793. It's not a penny stock. Okay, wow. So it takes a huge jump. So it's this version that was damaged. That's why. So it's at about $4, $4 or $5. It's not too bad. I don't really know how good Scareclaw is. as an archetype, you guys can let me know in those comments down below. But here's the thing. So we'll go back to the first page. I'm not going to the third page. I'm never going to go to the third page. Here's the thing. The Megatins have insane value right now. And I remember when they first came out, I went, and we could just actually go to the Megatin page again. We might as well just be like the last episode was just like basically full on Megatins. This is gonna be like half Megatins, right? So right now they're sitting at about $16, and it's the best selling is actually the case right now of Megatins. Where you get, is it 10, 12, right? So there's insane value in this right now. There's absolutely no reason not to get it. But when it comes to the Megatin, this is how Megatins always work, right? If you're kind of newer, or if you're kind of maybe not newer to Yu-Gi-Oh, but newer to like the market, here's how the Megatins usually go, right? And we'll even go back because I think I actually saw something from the 2021 Megatin, if I'm on, like, I think it was on the second page. But this is usually what happens, right? So the Megatins come out, they flood the market, right? And since they're flooding not only the market but the shelves, and multiple people start opening multiple packs, the prices slowly, yeah, right here, start to go down, right? And if we just take a look at last year's Megatins, right? And you could argue, well, last year's Megatin wasn't as good. I don't know. I mean, this was a really good reprint. Fractal was a good reprint. Nadir Servant a good reprint. This was a good upgrade. This was a good reprint. Omen was a good reprint. Revolt getting upgrade was really cool. This was a fantastic reprint. Like, I know you know, like, oh, it's only $1 card. This was an absolutely fantastic reprint. And then these three cards were amazing. Another good reprint. And you look at this and you're like, okay, well, this isn't as good as the 2022 Megatins, right? Even the cases are cheaper, so why would I want to get this? Well, here's the thing that ends up happening with Megatins, right? So when the Megatins first come out, they flood the market. Everybody's buying them, going back and forth. If you want to, right now, play that game, feel free, right? I talked about it last week. I bought a Megatin, already got my money back for the Megatin, but then now I'm not buying more Megatins. I'm not buying back in because this is not to sound morbid or pessimistic. The only place the Megatins can go right now is down, right? But if we look at the Tin of Lost Memories from 2020, right? And this might not be that's my bad. And this might not be this might still be too soon to see. Okay. This feels like a, there we go. That's gonna have to do. Yeah, Fusion Destiny, Dark Dragoon, Appaloosa. Like, this actually, the 2020 tins in the case. Like, look at this. This is $70. Goodness gracious, really? sorry, I got distracted. Sorry, I got distracted. Because, okay, yes, I know it's the penny stock market watch, but sometimes I will talk about cheap decks, and sometimes I will talk about sets, right? Because I talked about Dual Devastator like almost all the way. Like, this time last year, I was always talking about was Dual Devastator, and it's a super relevant set right now, right? And I'm just giving you guys an idea if, like I said, if you're new, or maybe if you're not new, but this isn't a pattern you've checked up on yet. This is what Megatins usually do. So if we go to the 2019 Megatins, if we can, here we go. I don't remember. There it is, right there. The Gold Sarcophagus 2019 Megatins. Like the Call by the Graves, $10. Sky Striker. This one's about as good as the 2020 Megatins. I don't know how much cases are, different things like that. But the reason, and then here's the thing too, like, the reason I'm showing you all these two is because history has a tendency to repeat itself, right? So when we take a look at right now, the market is just absolutely flooded with the 2022 Tin of the Pharaoh's Gods Megatins, right? But don't get too overly excited now and thinking like, oh, this is just how the market's going to be, right? If we just take a look at the top 6 cards right here on the screen, their market prices are all different than their lowest price. And that's never good. That's not. I mean, we have to go all the way down to this one's kind of close. This one's another one that's kind of close. If we keep scrolling. Okay, so there's none on this page because there are some times where the market price is lower than the lowest listing, or at the very least, it's close. Um, this one's close. Um, this one's close. You understand what I mean? Like you've seen it before. Like when this card randomly shot up in price, right? That was one of those situations, right? I guess it wasn't random, right? Tier elements doing tier elements things, but anyway, um, here's what I'm trying to say. To make a long story short, when it comes to 2022 megatons, right? Because it's now the second week in a row that it's just absolutely dominated the secondary market, especially in terms of the $5 or below. I mean, 3, 6, 9, 12. The top 14 of the top 15 cards are all from the tins, right? Get your money while you can right now. Don't be surprised if it starts to lag behind a little bit. Don't be surprised if even a year from now they haven't gone back up. But also hold on to it, right? Because the further you go back in the tins, the more you find these random cards. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like this card, like a lot of cards that we talked about last week, and some of the cards we talked about this week were not like a few dollars more, but substantially more, right? I'll try to find an example. We'll just go back to the 2019 megatons. I think I did see an example, actually. Yeah, right here. Um, I mean, like you look at a card like Called by the Grave, for example. I mean, there's so many printings of it. The most expensive printing is the upgraded Prismatic Secret Rare of 2019 from the megatons. So you got to ask yourself when we look at the 2022 megatons, right? What is that card, right? What is that Called by the Grave upgrade that everybody was looking for, and then we finally got? Maybe it's branded opening, right? Maybe it's Nibiru. I don't think it's Nibiru, but um, if I had to guess, these I would watch out for these cards. The alternate art people just love these. I posted this and Ash because I pulled both of those. First off, this is more expensive than Ash, and this sold faster than Ash as well. This is another one to watch out for. But if we're talking about just penny stocks, right? Um, this one's interesting to me because of the other printing is a secret rare, so it's technically an upgrade. But it's not like that much of an upgrade. The Ghost Ogre kind of, but I think there's an ultimate rare version. Um, Dark Rule No More. I wish that got a prismatic secret rare. Heavenly Lore, Heavenly Prison, maybe. Ready Fusion, maybe. Um, there's a lot. That's the funny thing. There's a lot. This could be another one. Um, so we'll just have to wait and see. But like I always say, I hadn't said it yet, so I wanted to make sure I say it right now. Always do. Maybe it'd be greater polymerization. That's the thing too. Real quick, actually, this just reminded me of something. There are cards that are exclusively from the megatons, and sometimes those can be super big too, right? But like I always say, make sure you guys are spending your money how you feel, not how anybody else ever feels. And I know we kind of spend the last 2 weeks or so talking about the megatons, so let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. Like, what are the cards $5 or less that you're really looking out for? Let me know in those comments down below. Make sure you guys do click that like button to show your support for the channel. Subscribe for even more content, but most importantly of all, have a good day.